Hello, colors. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on some interesting updates. We start with this report claiming that Barcelona are set to receive 40 million euros from investors by next week, could ensure registrations. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Xavi as the Barca boss could turn into in-house solutions at Barcelona to cover for Pedri. We are also going to discuss on that. So guys, as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. With just a week remaining before the transfer window closes, Barcelona are working round the clock to meet their market objectives by the end of the month. The club are yet to register Inaki Pena, Inigo Martinez, and Marcos Alonso, while Joao Cancelo's loan deal to Camp Nou must also be finalized. And of course, meeting all these targets will require fresh revenue from Barca's end, and to that end, the La Liga champions are expecting up to 40 million euros by the end of the month. Earlier this month, Barcelona sold a 29.5% stake in Barca Studios or Barca Vision to a new group of investors for a total sum of about 120 million euros after UFOS Media and Socios.com failed to meet payment deadlines. Of that, Libero Football Finance AG acquired 9.8% of the entity for a fee of around 40 million euros, while the remaining 19.7% was purchased by a Cyprus-based investor advised by Nipo Capital for 80 million euros. But Libero Football Fund is yet to finalize the payment. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona are expecting a payment of 20 million euros from the German investors this week. The Catalans expect the remaining 20 million euros to be paid next week with a deadline of Wednesday, August 29. This fresh injection of up to 40 million euros could go a long way in helping Barcelona not only register the players but also finalize Joao Cancelo's loan deal and register him. There has been a slew of activity this month as far as the ownership equation of Barca Vision is concerned. As things stand, Barcelona continue to hold a majority 51% stake in the entity. The next biggest owner is the new investor based in Cyprus, who holds a 19.7% stake after purchasing a 2.47% share previously owned by Socios.com and another 17.2% from Ophios Media. Socios.com comes in third after diluting their ownership from 25% to 17%. The new investor, Libero Football Finance, takes the fourth place after acquiring a 9.8% stake, having acquired 4.9%, each previously owned by Socios and Ophios. Finally, Ophios Media controlled the remaining 2.4% stake in the entity after making a huge divestment earlier this month. Of course, Barcelona have been trying to ensure that financial injections will help them in order to get things done in terms of registration, in terms of signing the players that they need to be signed, and most importantly, should make sure that the club fall in line with the financial fair play rules in La Liga. And I think that the sacrifice that Laporta have made is all about risk. If you don't take risks, then you will not have the returns. All these sacrifices, selling me a huge percentage of Barca Studios, Barca Vision, have really helped Barca into securing certain players and to getting some registrations complete. Because had it not been the case, I think right now Barca could have been a dead club, because we started seeing all this selling of economic levers since last summer. Last summer Laporta sold quite a lot, which helped us to sign and register players We saw top stars like Lewandowski, Rafinha, Koundé joining with some large sums of money due to the activation of the economic levers, which greatly helped the club. And as it stands right now, it seems as though Barcelona are still relying somehow on those financial levers. Even though this summer there have not been a lot of them, but Barcelona continue to rely on them in order to get registrations of certain players done, as well as signing some new players. So as it stands right now, according to what this report is saying, Barca are set to receive another 40 million euros from those investors that we have just been talking about by the next week ending, and that could ensure registration, that could ensure a good end of the summer transfer window, which ends, I think, by the 2nd of September in Spain. Which, let's see how far things will go. What are the transactions that Barca want to be involved in from now to the end of the window? It remains to be seen. Then on to the final story of discussion. Just 2 match weeks into the new season, and Barcelona have been rocked with two important injuries, with Ronald Araujo and Pedri out on the sidelines. Araujo sustained the injury after the game against Getafe and missed the Cadiz clash this past weekend. The 24-year-old is expected to be back after the international break next month. As for Pedri, the midfield prodigy suffered from a thigh injury earlier today that will sideline him for 1 month or so. Reports suggest that the 20-year-old could be out of action until the international break in October, which would mean that he will miss a number of matches for Barcelona. As such, there has been talk of Barca considering a move for Giovanni Lo Celso to reinforce the midfield, but given the financial fair play situation, a late transfer appears unlikely, and thus Xavi could be forced to look at internal solutions to cope with the absence of Pedri over the next month or so. Didac Perret of Sport is reporting now that the first and the most obvious choice for Xavi to replace Pedri from within the Barca squad could be Ilkay Gundogan. The German has started both Barca's league game system since arriving from Man City and appears the best suited option to assume the creative mantle in the team. Gavi would come into the starting 11 to operate as a pseudo winger in case Xavi persists with his four central midfielders. If not, Gundogan would start alongside Frankie de Jong and Oriol Romeo in a three-man unit, making a front line with three natural attackers. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.